This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
I'm losing faith in them because they do lie.
There's no opportunity there in Morocco.
Bad actors just think these new federal changes will give them cover to sell guns to anyone.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Going to summer camp. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Mark Webster. A rare open to the media meeting at Camp David today. President Trump and his cabinet huddling over a host of issues confronting the U.S. right now, none larger than the war with Iran. Trump says he's just fed up with Tehran.
I'm losing faith in them because they do lie and they do misrepresent. Well, the other day, the 5 missiles were shot. We knocked them down, but we were in the midst of a negotiation.
Also on the lengthy agenda today, a potential breakthrough, emphasis on potential, involving possibly disarming Iran terror proxy Hamas in Gaza. Trump calls it a historic byproduct of U.S. pressure on Iran, but it's anything but a done deal. ABC's Karen Travers.
There are a lot of questions about the timeline on this, essentially a who goes first to make this happen, but this would be a significant move if it actually comes to fruition. But that's a big if, because there are a lot of questions about how this could actually pan out at this point.
Israeli officials say Hamas could just be using the tentative deal to relieve pressure and buy time. This week's cyber attacks on some U.S. water systems may be linked to Iran. NBC's Chris Pallone with that.
A senior law enforcement official telling NBC News that a cyber attack on more than 30 municipal water systems across Minnesota this week points to Iranian-backed hackers, though the official cautions the forensic analysis is still in its early stages.
Officials say one reason Iran is suspected is that the goal of the attacks appears to be to disrupt service, not collect ransom. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency sent out an alert to local water systems that cyber threat actors are trying to modify passwords to lock out operators. The FBI is investigating. A mass migrant crisis in Spain, an estimated 60,000 Moroccan immigrants swarming over the border.
Why is this happening now? Well, it could be for a few reasons. Only a few weeks ago, Spain's Supreme Court ruled that those who reach the area by sea cannot be immediately returned without due process.
ABC's James Longman, this Moroccan migrant, on why he joined the dash across the border.
There's no opportunity there in Morocco. I am a student there in the High School of Teachers in Tetuan, but actually there is no chance to live there.
Spanish officials blame the surge on human traffickers and say a majority of the Moroccan immigrants have voluntarily departed. Hollywood couple George and Amal Clooney are among those affected by those wildfires raging across Europe.
They own a house in Provence in southern France. They say they were forced to evacuate earlier this week, and they left not knowing whether their home was still going to be standing when they got back. The evacuation order for their village, it's called Brignoles, has now been lifted.
NBC's Raf Sanchez, in a message to the town's mayor, Clooney says the family hopes residents remain safe and is committed to helping rebuild the community if needed. The Clooneys purchased the vineyard property in 2021 and became French citizens with their children last year. Back in the U.S., the government's newest tool in forecasting hurricanes is an interesting combination of high-tech and low-tech.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is tagging sharks with sensors to collect real-time information about ocean temperature, salt levels, and direction of currents.
Helps you understand how strong a hurricane, how intense it's going to be, potentially like maybe what direction it's maybe going to go.
Marine ecologist Aaron Carlisle says when the dorsal fin breaks the surface, the sensor data is transmitted to a satellite and then downloaded by the National Hurricane Center.
It just makes you able to make much better predictions about the impact and the hurricane dynamics of something that's roaring towards the coast.
Karen Curtis, Miami.
Still to come here on the 5 o'clock report, a recap of our top regional stories and highlights from today's staycation feature. We'll peek inside Buffalo's Theodore Roosevelt Inaugural National Historic Site. It's coming up after Weather with Kevin.
Hi, I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. After a sparkling day today, the weekend weather news is mixed. It'll be mainly dry and fair tonight into tomorrow, but a front will deliver showers and rumbles tomorrow night and Sunday. In forecast form, a beautiful evening, then moonlit skies, turning a little hazy overnight in far western New York and northwest Pennsylvania. Low temperatures about 60. On Saturday, hazier than it's been of late, with clouds and partial sunshine. Look for a later day shower or thunderstorm close to Lake Erie. High temps tomorrow in the 80s. Then cloudy tomorrow night and Sunday. Humid with showers and rumbles. High temperatures Sunday in the 70s to near 80 degrees.
Thanks, Kevin. Now checking the stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. Another round of gun laws on the way in the state of New York. Governor Kathy Hochul says they're aimed at strengthening gun safety following rollbacks at the federal level.
Bad actors who think these new federal changes will give them cover to sell guns to anyone without a thorough background check. A background check is everything. It's so critical. Also, mental health screening. We need to know. There's people who should not have a gun in their hands.
The state says it will increase inspections of gun dealers, expand its interstate task force on illegal firearms, launch an educational campaign for gun dealers, and pursue legislation that would require all firearm sales to be conducted in person. The first case of a rare, potentially fatal tick-borne virus has been confirmed in the Empire State. It's called the Bourbon virus, named for the county where it originated in 2014 in Kansas. It's a rare illness. There is no known treatment. The CDC says symptoms of the infection include fever, fatigue, rash, headache, body aches, nausea, and vomiting. A patient was treated downstate in April and survived after being bitten by a Lone Star tick. Officials haven't said where the person was when they were bitten. New York State is suing prediction market platform Kalshi.
Kalshi depends, the Attorney General's lawsuit says, largely on chance rather than skill. So she says quintessentially it is the same thing as gambling and should be regulated and should be taxed accordingly.
ABC's Aaron Kukursky. Now to Pennsylvania, where Senator John Fetterman may have a challenger looming. We get that story from Family Life's Sarah Harnish.
Pennsylvania could be the battleground for an inter-party fight for U.S. Senate seat in 2028. Congressman Brendan Boyle, a Democrat, says he will consider a run as criticism mounts against first-term Senator John Fetterman. Boyle saying he'd have, quote, major concerns if Fetterman is the Democratic nominee. Boyle has been critical of Fetterman on social media, calling him Donald Trump's favorite Democrat and saying he needs to go. Sarah Harnish, Family Life News.
All right, thank you, Sarah. Family, friends, and public officials mourning the loss of a Queens, New York resident killed in the war with Iran. Kimberly was the best friend of Sergeant Angel Rampersad and spoke at her funeral at Calvary Assembly of God Church this morning.
She is the most considerate, humble, and selfless person I've ever met.
The 28-year-old Rampersad was among soldiers killed in an Iranian missile attack at a base in Jordan a couple of weeks ago. Laura described her sister as a brave soldier who lived a life of courage, sacrifice, and selfless service.
She chose to dedicate herself to something greater than herself, to protecting others, serving her country, and defending the freedoms that we often take for granted.
Flags at half-staff around New York State today in honor of that fallen hero. A private Pennsylvania university is shutting down, leaving students in limbo with just weeks to go before the fall semester. The University of Valley Forge in Phoenixville has stopped offering classes because of ongoing financial issues. The 87-year-old Christian institution says it will continue helping students transfer to other schools. Administration officials apologized to students, saying they believe there was a path forward, but that solution did not come together in time. And you might notice a bit of a change on your GPS soon. Interstate 99 just added 62 miles in northern Pennsylvania. PennDOT unveiled one of the first new signs yesterday celebrating the highway's extension through Tioga and Lycoming counties. They say it will improve transportation and fuel economic growth. Up next, highlights from today's staycation feature. I had a chance to visit Buffalo's Theodore Roosevelt Inaugural National Historic Site, where Spencer Morgan is the executive director.
He is the youngest president ever inaugurated, and that inauguration took place here in Buffalo at 641 Delaware Avenue. After a grueling trip on train, TR arrives in Buffalo, and he is brought back to this house yet again, where his friend Ansley prepares a lunch TR, of course, overwhelmed. He couldn't take lunch. He did drink his coffee. He famously drank gallons of coffee every day. That's one of the things that you'll notice here when you come on tour. You'll notice some scents of coffee throughout the dining area. The president is urged to take the oath of office. 60 people gathered around this young president and witnessed him taking the oath of office. And immediately following the oath, TR meets with the cabinet. Between the 14th and the 16th, 641 Delaware Avenue, Buffalo served as the unofficial executive mansion for this nation.
Let's fast forward to today. Somebody's coming to visit. What are some of the highlights you're going to see?
The site is open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can only see the site if you are on a guided tour. During the busy season in the summer, we have guided tours every half hour. Make your reservations online at our website, which is trsite.org. As you visit, you'll be brought back in time. You're going to be shown the Pan Am and why the Pan Am was in Buffalo. What was America going through at the turn of the last century? What were the key issues that TR grappled with as a young president? You're going to experience the context of the day and this great optimism at the end of the Victorian period for the new century of what would happen in America. We essentially still had this manifest destiny in this country. We were the best country. We were the wealthiest country. We were the most formidable power militarily. So there was a lot to celebrate in 1901. And then you will visit 3 restored rooms as they looked in September of 1901, and you're taken back to September 14th specifically. This site is interpreted to look as it did on September 14th of 1901. Even though the site's history goes way back to the 1830s, we are here because a presidential oath of office took place here. You will also experience what we call our Issues Theater, which is a 12-minute experience where you will explore the 5 key issues that TR grappled with: racial and social justice, environmental conservation, big business labor relations, the threat of war overseas, the U.S. role in global affairs, and immigration and urban poverty. These themes might seem very familiar to our listeners because they're very relevant to today and what we're going through culturally, socially, and politically. But they're the same issues we were grappling with as a country in 1901, and although the context might be different, we still continue to grapple with these issues today as a society. That's what you'll experience on the first floor of the site, and then you'll be taken to the second floor where the fun really does begin. Because of the historic nature of the house, we don't have any photographs or any really detailed archives of who slept in what room and what they looked like and where TR was, etc. So that gave us some creative license with the second floor, which enabled us to install some new exhibits and some new technology. We have a recreation of Theodore Roosevelt's presidential office in one space. We have a touchscreen globe, a touchscreen presidential desk. You can get your picture as president on a newspaper, emailed or sent to your cell phone behind President Roosevelt's presidential desk. You'll experience some of the family artwork and some of the furnishings on the second floor. We have a couple exploration desks where you can connect with the Library of Congress and explore different themes, from everything from the history of the site to the history of the family to the history of the Roosevelts and TR's legacy. And you'll also experience Buffalo's first hologram. We're very proud to have the hologram of Theodore Roosevelt here under this roof, which is AI driven but is sourced using primary sources from Theodore Roosevelt's time. His knowledge base ends the day TR died, January 6, 1919.
Spencer Morgan, Executive Director of Buffalo's Theodore Roosevelt Inaugural National Historic Site. You can hear the entire feature and all of our Family Life original news features at Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and FamilyLife.org. This is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
More money can solve some problems, but it can also create new ones. Hi, I'm Rob West with today's Faith and Finance Minute. In Ecclesiastes 5, Solomon writes, "He who loves money will not be satisfied with money." Then he adds, "When goods increase, they increase who eat them." In other words, accumulation often brings complications, more to manage, more to protect, more to worry about losing. Then Solomon says, "Sweet is the sleep of a laborer, but the abundance of the rich permits him no sleep." That's a striking contrast. Our culture assumes more money means more peace, but Scripture teaches that true rest does not come from a larger net worth. It comes from contentment before God. When our hearts realize that God is enough, we can sleep with full trust in His provision. Discover the best Christian financial articles, podcasts, and videos by visiting our website, faithfi.com, or by downloading FaithFi, Faith and Finance from your app store.
Thanks, Rob. Finally at 5, 11-year-old Emily Wilkins is dealing with a lot. Currently in Cincinnati Children's Hospital undergoing treatment for leukemia. But she's not taking that lying down. She's gotten a lot of notice lately for posting large signs on her hospital room window, especially one that reads, "I need pizza and donuts." Ever since, there's been a regular flow of that and more to her floor from admiring local businesses, including pizzeria owner Mary Brandsetter, who tells WKRC meeting Emily and her mom when she delivered several free pizzas was emotional.
I still have chills. It means a lot. It makes you think that the little struggles that you have in your life right now don't even compare to what this mom, that's her only child, 11-year-old Emily, it makes you feel so good to be a small part to help them. And we're all praying for her.
Emily says she's grateful for the goodies as well as the prayers and encouragement that come along with them.
It makes me feel good. Can you tell everybody thanks?
Indeed we can. Emily's mom describes her as a strong little cowgirl. And that's the world we live in for this Friday, July 31st, 2026. We thank you again for joining us. Have a blessed weekend. I'm Mark Webster, Family Life News.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.